Starbucks isn't just slowing down in China, it's starting to hit that danger signal level. And that is a big deal for every brand who are watching the Asian market. First, and what I'd call most urgent, is the speed of the local competition. Let's have a look at how Starbucks got outpaced by local challengers. Let's look at why Starbucks lost ground in China's coffee war. Starbucks really used to be unstoppable in China. Now, it's slipping. And the reason, or at least one, is quite simple. It's losing the coffee war to local brands. Look at Looking Coffee, for example. They jumped in with aggressive pricing, app-based ordering, rapid expansion, and local flavours. Starbucks kept riding its global playbook with premium stores and quite a safe menu. And that worked until it didn't. So if you're entering into Asia, don't just be good, you also have to be relevant. Think digital first. You've got to be culturally fluent. If you want to avoid being outsold by a rising local contender, you've got to move faster than Starbucks did. The brands that win in China aren't always the biggest, but they are the fastest, the smartest, and the most culturally savvy. So next, I want to look at how it wasn't just about pace. Starbucks played the same global card that they have everywhere else, and that copy-paste kind of fatality is lesson 2. Are you thinking that copy-paste expansion will work in Asia? Forget that. Your brand might work in one market, but copying and pasting it into Asia is just a fast route to irrelevance. Starbucks opened stores exactly like they do globally. Familiar signage, menu, seating. But in China, consumers crave local design, local partnerships, and digital loyalty programs, not just the same style cup. So you've got to go beyond the logo, localize your design, engagement, and your offers, or you risk being the boring foreign brand that nobody remembers. I've seen this really in many product categories. The global look doesn't guarantee consumer love. The more foreign a brand feels, the lower its relevance, especially in segments aimed at a mass market. And that brings me to the kind of strategic bombshell now, that Starbucks are starting to offer franchises. Now that tells a story of a massive shift in their game plan for China. The franchise pivot. Is Starbucks waving the white flag? Starbucks in China is doing something that they have never done before. They're starting to think about offering franchises. That's not just a change in strategy, that's some kind of confession. It means that their original model of company-owned stores wasn't enough. Franchising accelerates scale with less cost, but this switch shows they can't own it alone anymore. If you're thinking of scaling overseas, think early about who can carry your brand forward. Fractional leadership, joint ventures, selective franchising might get you that growth without draining your capital. This move lets them scale faster with local investment, but it does also dilute the control, and that is a very delicate dance for brand equity. So what's the quick summary? 3 core lessons that every foreign brand needs to hear, both simplified and actionable. Let me give you 3 lessons for foreign brands that you can learn from Starbucks' struggles in China, and what you can learn from them stumbling a little bit. Here are 3 hard-won truths that Starbucks have learned the difficult way. The local competition will always move faster than global giants. Secondly, standardization kills relevance. And thirdly, scaling without local partners will drain your resilience. You have to avoid the same fate by shipping smarter, adapting faster, and partnering smarter. That is how you outlast the giants. Every one of those points is a risk. You've got fast challengers, you've got standardized branding and offerings, you've got solo scaling, and you need to manage all 3 of them at the same time, not just one. But there is another point that's less talked about. The brand is kind of losing its edge, and sit back and let me explain why that is dangerous. Is Starbucks becoming boring in China? Well, kind of, yeah. And that is a really serious brand problem. So somehow the interiors are a little bit dull. There's nothing popping about them. There's nothing edgy. The orders are predictable. They've lost that novelty that they had in the first years. And in the meantime, local cafes are offering tiki-themed drinks, pop-ups, and really tech-forward experiences. So think about this. If your brand isn't evolving, especially in fast-moving consumer markets like China, you're actually working against your own brand equity. Now, Starbucks didn't just become boring overnight, but they did coast. And that is your warning. You've got to renew your brand experience constantly and keep your eyes on the competition in China. And I'm not talking here about any global issues that Starbucks have, and this isn't just Starbucks' story, it's your story if you're entering Asia. You have to stay fast, stay local, stay exciting. And if you want help building that strategy without guesswork, well, you know where to find me.